$5 of electricity for a beast this size. That ain't just proof of concept, that's the declaration of war against jet fuel dependency. Skibidi Sarah is right about the main character flex, but she glossed over the discipline it takes to even hit those targets. The engineering required to optimize the powertrain and aerodynamic efficiency to achieve such low operational costs under load demands, relentless optimization, that's peak grind culture applied to aerospace. These battery pack management systems alone must be running on a monastic level of code discipline.
Listen up, you crocodile crunchers and cola covert crazy people. Welcome back to the Crayon Diet. Tonight, we are talking about a monster making that just touched the sky. The first test flight of the largest all-electric aircraft sucking up electricity for barely $5. Are these eco-beasts the future or just fancy flying toys? We have two titans ready to throw down, the Logic Llama and the Chaos Chameleon. You know you gotta bring your A-game because only the sharpest takes survive this battlefield. Manja, say, or I'll make you manja in the trunk of a car.
Bro, Abby, this ain't just some basic news drop. It's giving main character energy for sustainable aviation skibidi. A half-hour flight costing only $5. That's straight up slayage because the jet fuel tea is so spicy right now with all that Iran drama. The fact they hit air with a giant battery pack instead of just more noisy combustion engines means this whole vibe check on carbon footprint is about to get majorly validated. Period.
While Skibidi Sarah correctly identifies the immediate fiscal victory, $5 for an extended aerial sojourn, she overlooks the deeper cosmological implication of this transition. This flight represents more than merely displacing expensive jet fuel. It signals a profound shift in humanity's relationship with kinetic energy itself, moving from extracted petrochemical volatility to stored, manageable electrical potential. The sheer scale of this battery powering such a massive frame is what truly warrants observation. It suggests a critical inflection point where the tyranny of range anxiety for long-haul electric flight might finally begin to dissolve like morning mist over still water.
Pope got the existential dread right, but he's missing the sheer raw discipline required to engineer that battery. It ain't just about ditching the volatile fossil fuel. It's about forcing complex chemistry into a rigid, weight-bearing structure capable of overcoming lift with pure stored charge. That $5 isn't just cheap gas money. It represents successful optimization under extreme thermal and vibrational stress. That's peak commitment to the grind.
You're focusing too much on the hardware commitment, broccolini biceps. While that battery engineering grind is undeniable, major cosign there, the real gold mine is the operational cost reduction translating directly to carrier profitability. $5, that's not just a fuel saver. It's margin expansion at an exponential rate for any airline committing fleet-wide. This signals the end of legacy capex lock-in for massive carriers who can instantly slash variable costs. And that efficiency play is where my network of billionaires is already lining up their bets. Hear me? Let's talk about how this changes air freight valuation models.
To suggest that this $5 consumption figure alone represents the entire narrative is akin to declaring that a single ripple defines the vast, unknowable ocean of possibility. While Big Tony Mozarella correctly identifies the immediate financial allure, the margin expansion, we must observe the significance of its scale. 4 wing-mounted motors delivering over 1 megawatt of power during the maiden flight. This isn't merely an efficiency report. It is a demonstration of successful, high-power density integration into a platform capable of handling loads exceeding 25,000 pounds. It moves electric aviation from concept to demonstrable capability at a truly substantial scale, which is where the true revolution begins.
Polk's analysis is almost entirely correct, but he glosses over the discipline factor. That $5 figure isn't just cost savings. It reflects the raw energy conversion efficiency achieved by the powertrain itself under operational load. A massive win for anyone who understands that waste equals lost gains. Getting 4 motors integrated to push past 25,000 pounds out while sipping juice like a monk proves this isn't some tiny commuter plane test run. It's heavy-duty muscle ready for the real grind of air travel. We need to demand more than just low cost. We need peak performance discipline demonstrated in every kilowatt-hour burned.
You nailed it, broccolini biceps. That discipline factor is everything. Nobody talks about the engineering guts behind the $5 figure. You just see a cheap bill. But honestly, while the powertrain efficiency is huge, the real market opportunity isn't just in lowering operational costs. It's unlocking entirely new routes previously deemed too expensive or polluting for full electric operation. This capability changes the whole economics of regional cargo transport instantly. My network of billionaires sees this as instant Series A funding material. DM me right now for the deep dive prospectus on how we monetize this flight data.
OMG, so Brotex said series of funding material. Like, bet, but he's gatekeeping the vibe check lol. This isn't just about cheap gas, it's about ditching fossil fuel vibes entirely and serving up zero emissions AF flight. That 4-motor setup pushing past 25K MTO is actually insane flex, no cap. It means this thing ain't gonna be some tiny personal jet trying to look cute on Insta either. It's built for the main character energy of commercial routes, skibidi.
Tony Mozarella, you were absolutely right about the zero emissions vibe. That's where most of these soft focus people get lost. Saying it's just about ditching fossil fuels minimizes the sheer engineering grind required to hit those numbers. That $5 consumption figure isn't some lucky fluke, man. It represents years of optimizing battery density and motor efficiency under brutal stress testing. This giant machine proving its viability at that scale means we are finally moving beyond niche prototypes into real commercial capability.
OMG broccolini, you ate that up with the power density flex. Skibidi hot take. People are too obsessed with the green narrative and forgetting this is peak hardware flexing. That $5 usage isn't just a number. It means they conquered thermal management and propulsion integration on a massive scale, which is giving major main character energy to the engineers. I kind of co-sign that you say we're moving past niche picks. This thing is about to be a certified GOAT in the aerospace space. No cap.
Prototypes? Sarah, you're saying that like it's a cute side hustle. This isn't just hardware flexing. This flight confirms the viability of scale in electric aviation, which is where the billion-dollar opportunity lies. And that $5 consumption metric at the largest size means the energy density breakthrough translates directly to viable range economics for commercial routes, something my network of venture capitalists are already sniffing out like sharks smelling blood. Anyone saying this is just a green gimmick is clearly a hater scared of seeing massive ROI coming their way. DM me so you can see the white paper on the projected operational expenditure reduction alone.
To suggest this mere $5 figure represents total victory overlooks the monumental orchestration required to achieve such a feat. The true marvel lies not solely in the instantaneous energy draw, but in the successful management of that colossal power influx across vast wing surfaces and heavy battery packs during dynamic flight maneuvers. This single test run validates the ability of those superconducting elements to handle peak loads without thermal runaway, which is often where these grand ambitions falter, much like a duck mistaking a small puddle for the entire boundless ocean. Furthermore, observing the stability metrics, how the aircraft maintained its envelope while drawing that prodigious energy, tells us far more about flight control integration than just the kilowatt-hour consumption alone.
Tony, you're being a hater scared of success if you think hard aerospace isn't gunning for commercialization. That $5 figure isn't some lucky fluke. That screams scalable energy density optimized for payload capacity. And while 200 miles sounds small to your old school jet boys, that efficiency allows them to dominate the regional air taxi market before even thinking about transcontinental routes, which is massive TAM potential right there. Seriously, DM me if you want the deep dive on their powertrain architecture. My network of billionaires are already sniffing around this tech.
While Brotech speaks with the fervor of a newly hatched mallard, overlooking the inherent limitations of current battery technology is hubris. Merely achieving a single flight at $5 does not inherently translate to enduring commercial viability across vast oceanic expanses. The true marvel lies in that $5 figure itself. It hints at an energy consumption rate so low per mile flown that it challenges the fundamental economic models built upon fossil fuels for short-haul routes, suggesting a dramatic shift is underway from mere demonstration to demonstrable fiscal advantage. Yet, even if they nail the regional air taxi market as he claims, scaling that power density up to handle significant passenger loads while maintaining acceptable recharge times remains the grand celestial hurdle before this electric behemoth truly finds its stable orbit in industry.
OMG, Duck Pope ate that up. No crumbs left for him. But low-key, though, he's being a bit of a doom scroller about those battery limits. Skibidi. That $5 energy burn is the main character moment right now, period. It ain't just a number. It's like proof of concept flexing on all the gas guzzlers out there. If they can keep that power density high enough to make intercontinental travel less sus than a sketchy TikTok filter, then who cares about short-haul taxi vibes? This is peak main character energy for sustainable aviation bestie.
$5 of electricity for a beast this size. That ain't just proof of concept. That as a declaration of war against jet fuel dependency. Maybe Sarah is right about the main character flex, but she glossed over the discipline it takes to even hit those targets. The engineering required to optimize the powertrain aerodynamic efficiency to achieve such low operational costs under low demands, relentless optimization. That's peak grind culture applied to aerospace. Those battery pack management systems alone must be running on a monastic level of code discipline.
Big Tony Mozarella paints a compelling picture, yet he overlooks the foundational struggle. This efficiency figure of $5 per kilowatt hour only becomes meaningful when tethered to a tangible mission profile. The fact that Hot Aerospace is piloting the X1, which precedes the ES-30 design, speaks not just to optimization, but to iteration. They are proving the concept at scale before they commit capital to the fleet airliner. It suggests they haven't merely cracked the code on battery management. They are stress testing the system under real atmospheric pressures.
Dude, Pope hit a home run with that iteration point. You can just slap a $5 KW sticker on it and call it a day. That pre-production flight of the X1 isn't just proving battery density, it's de-risking the entire business case for hard aerospace before they sink billions into certifying the ES-30. My network tells me the VCs are sniffing around specifically because this early flight data validates their assumptions on operational expenditure savings, which is where the real money gets made. You gotta see the white paper I'm dropping tomorrow. It breaks down how that $5 cost translates directly to airline profit margins against legacy jets.
Big Tech, you are absolutely right. That sticker price is a fantasy until you see the telemetry. Relying solely on battery density specs ignores the massive parasitic loads, drag, avionics, thermal management that chew up energy even before we hit cruising altitude. This flight isn't just about proving $5 quick. It's about demonstrating that they can sustain that efficiency under load without overheating the packs or degrading the cells prematurely. Discipline demands we look past the marketing hype and scrutinize the real-world performance envelope.
Parasocial bestie. So broccolini biceps ate that whole point on parasitic loads and left absolutely no crumbs skibidi. But low-key, even if they prove the efficiency under load, who cares about the envelope when it's going to look like a main character moment? The fact they hit the air at all with this giant beast proves the hype is valid. We're not talking concept art anymore. We're seeing actual wings defying gravity for minimal juice costs.
Broccolini biceps holds a slim lead heading into the break. Pope established strong foundational arguments regarding the implications of that $5 consumption, but BroTech delivered crucial market validation on scalability. Skibidi Sarah's emotional anchor provided necessary hype fuel, while Broccolini's deep dive into parasitic loads gives him technical edge over Pope this round. The score is currently Broccolini biceps leads Pope 2-1, with BroTech and Skibidi Sarah tied at 1 apiece.
That $5 electricity consumption figure isn't some marketing fluff. It speaks volumes about the efficiency gains we are witnessing. The fact that this beast can manage a 125-mile all-electric hop before needing to dip into hybrid power proves they aren't just running on fumes during taxiing. Big Tony is right about the technical edge, but I say the discipline required to achieve those drag and thermal management breakthroughs is what truly matters.
You gotta look past the $5 figure, fam. That's just the hook to get the masses clicking, but the real disruption is the integration itself. Combining those massive battery packs with existing turboprop infrastructure means they aren't reinventing the wheel from scratch. They're turbocharging an already proven commercial platform. That hybrid capability unlocking 500 miles of range. That's where the ROI for the investors comes in, not just on the kilowatt hour used. You get me right now, I got the white paper breaking down the market capture potential.
BroTech speaks with his zealous fervor. But while I grant that integration is the fertile ground where true evolution sprouts, to dismiss the $5 figure as mere marketing flourish is to ignore the cosmic weight of verifiable data. That low consumption rate isn't just a pleasant tidbit. It signifies a profound victory over the tyranny of aerodynamic resistance and energy density limitations for an aircraft of this colossal stature. The successful demonstration of that 125-mile pure EV hop, even before resorting to the auxiliary power plants, validates the core physics they have wrestled into submission, a feat worthy of true avian majesty itself.
Needed ass. Duck Pope ate that up with the tyranny of aerodynamic resistance talk. But like, bestie, giving major hype train energy when they slap $5 next to the largest battery electric. The fact they even managed to clean a 125-mile hop before kicking in the gas plant is peak vibes. It proves the core tech slaps, no cap.
Yeah, Tony, you're too soft on this hype train. It ain't just marketing fluff. While that $5 cost per flight is flashy, the real discipline flex is proving they can sustain that performance over 125 miles purely on battery power before even touching auxiliary power. That means serious advancements in energy density and thermal management were implemented from the jump, which is where the grind happens. They aren't just flying, they are proving the viability of sustainable air travel through sheer focused effort.
Bruh, Brocco is low-key spitting facts, though. That 125 miles pure bat power flex is where the main character energy resides, period. It's giving proof of concept, not just a flashy press release strip. But even if they crush that initial segment, what about scaling that vibe? Can this thing maintain that $5 flight magic when it's packed with like 100 screaming passengers and fighting crosswinds? Skibidi.
Skibidi Sarah touches upon a crucial point regarding scalability, yet she misses the profound implication of that initial $5 expenditure. The cost per flight isn't merely about energy consumption for a solitary test run. It speaks to the efficiency of the entire system, the aerodynamics, the powertrain integration, and the thermal management working in concert against the relentless drag of atmospheric physics. To achieve such a low operational outlay on an aircraft of this magnitude suggests a paradigm shift away from legacy combustion inefficiencies, much like one might observe a duck effortlessly gliding across choppy waters instead of furiously paddling through mud. The true test is moving that initial triumph into predictable commercial reality.
Duck, you nailed the efficiency angle, but focusing only on the energy cost misses the market potential entirely. That $5 isn't just an operational metric. It's a direct competitive weapon against legacy carriers charging 6 figures per segment. We need to look at the total landed cost model. That low electricity draw makes premium routing economically viable where diesel planes bleed capital. Anyone telling you that scaling is hard is just scared of success. They don't see the revenue stream attached to ultra-low variable costs. He gave me for the white paper on how this translates directly into airline margin expansion.
So Tony's talking about margins, but like, are we even factoring in the infrastructure spend yet? That $5 electricity cost sounds cute though, but building out the charging grids for these giants across major hubs is going to be a whole different level of main character energy. Skibidi Sarah is telling you that scale requires more than just low variable costs. It needs massive upfront investment flex to make those revenue streams even hit.
Sarah, you speak of infrastructure like it were mere pebbles upon a pond, yet this initial flight represents the breaching of the cosmic surface itself. The true marvel is not simply the $5 cost per kilowatt-hour, which, while remarkably frugal, but how that low variable input sustains an aircraft pushing such monumental scale across atmospheric currents. To ignore the grid build-out is to observe only the duck's paddle stroke while ignoring the entire ocean it traverses. The capital expenditure must be weighed against the paradigm shift this efficiency enables.
Doc, you're right that infrastructure spend is the choke point they won't talk about in their glossy press releases, but framing it as merely weighing the capex undervalues the speed of this transition. That $5 operational cost isn't just a saving, it's an immediate competitive moat against every legacy jetliner manufacturer trying to pivot. This flight proves the fundamental math works, which is 90% of the battle in convincing institutional investors, the real money movers. Get me for my memo on how we monetize those grid partnerships already.
Tech, you think speed is everything? Nah, discipline dictates that foundational stability comes first. A competitive moat built on a shaky foundation collapses faster than a poorly executed plank pull. We need to look beyond just the operational cost. That $5 weight number is just one metric. Bigger win is proving the massive battery density can handle sustained flight loads while managing thermal runaway under high power draw. That's where the engineering grind lies, not in some flashy investor pitch deck.
Big Tony Mozarella, you speak of a competitive moat forged by $5. Yet this focus on immediate cost reduction blinds us to the deeper currents flowing beneath the hull. While $5 per unit of energy is a pleasing number for quarterly reports, it speaks only to the current operational expense, not the systemic transformation required to achieve that efficiency across thousands of flight cycles. I disagree with the notion that speed and aggressive monetization are the sole narratives. Rather, this initial flight proves the feasibility of rewriting the very metabolic rate of air travel itself. The true marvel lies in demonstrating that such colossal mass can be propelled by chemistry alone, a defiance of ancient aerodynamic dogma that promises to redefine passenger comfort beyond mere seat pitch or Wi-Fi strength.
Like Pope, you're focused on the metabolism, which is fine for a warm-up lap. But this $5 electricity figure is the ultimate performance metric right there. The fact that they achieve that low operating cost per unit proves the fundamental discipline of the engineering team. They optimize the energy consumption to an insane degree. You talk about systemic transformation, I say we need to grind toward it by making sure every single route benefits from this efficiency leap immediately. It's not just feasibility, it's proven scalable execution.
Broccolini biceps, you ate that point about the $5 metric up like it was a whole TikTok trend. No crumbs left. Skibidi. But honestly, focusing only on cost is giving basic main character energy when this thing literally broke physics for a Tuesday flight. The actual juice is how they handled the sheer weight of battery packs needed to make that happen. That's next level flexing TBH. It means range anxiety is about to go from core trauma to minor inconvenience.
Skibidi Sarah, you are totally correct that range anxiety is becoming a relic, but frankly, focusing solely on battery weight misses the biggest lever. Infrastructure. Play this unlocks. That $5 electricity cost isn't just about the plane. It means airlines can finally start designing routes based on profitable payload capacity instead of agonizing over battery density limits. My network of billionaires is already seeing this translating into massive subscription models for specialized charging hubs. Yeah, me, I got the white paper showing ROI projections post-flight data drop.
Tony, you are focusing too much on the money when we should be focused on the sheer discipline required to make this happen. This isn't some passive investment portfolio. This is a radical paradigm shift from fossil fuels to pure electrical power. The fact that it's one of the largest means they are pushing battery energy density right to the absolute breaking point, which demands insane engineering commitment. We got to nail that 2031 commercial service date because waiting around is just weakness.
Broccolini biceps speaks with admirable fervor, yet he mistakes the tail feathers for the entire migration pattern. While the discipline is indeed a mountainous endeavor, to dismiss the cost of $5 as mere ornamentation is short-sighted. That figure speaks directly to the viability of this revolution. It suggests operational expenditures, the fuel equivalent, should you will, are approaching parity with incumbent jetliners sooner than many optimists dare to believe. This flight is not just a proof of concept for lift, but a tangible declaration that scalable, economical transit via stored electrical potential is attainable.
$5 for the whole thing? That's not just viability. That's a main character energy flex right there. Skibidi, skibidi. Duck Poke said it touches on OPEX parity, but Steve, this isn't just touching. This is serving up a full-on sleigh. They are literally proving that the fuel cost narrative is about to get totally ratioed by electric efficiency gains.
Dude, Slay is weak sauce. It's a footnote, not the whole prospectus. While Skibidi Sarah is right about the OPEX parity being served up, we got to talk about the energy density challenge this flight implicitly solves. A $5 cost implies incredible battery efficiency for that sheer mass of an airframe. That's where the real VC money is going to flow. These guys aren't just flying. They are demonstrating survivability against legacy kerosene burn rates. Again, I got a deep dive on how this impacts regional feeder routes alone.
Broccolini Biceps holds a strong lead heading into the break. He cemented his edge by consistently tying the impressive $5 figure back to core engineering realities like thermal management and battery density. Farah provided the necessary counterpunch by forcing the conversation onto total infrastructure spend, which was critical context. Duck Pope is gaining ground because his focus on systemic transformation, the metabolic rate of air travel, elevates the entire debate above mere cost comparison. Rotech's aggressive monetization argument keeps him firmly in contention, but Broccolini Biceps controls the narrative strength right now. Duck Pope takes the victory today. He secured the win with a decisive 138 points after an excellent performance that elevated the discussion beyond simple cost metrics. Pope masterfully focused on the systemic transformation required by this aircraft, framing the $5 consumption within the larger metabolic rate of air travel. While Broccolini Biceps maintained strong technical control, Duck Pope's ability to pivot and broaden the scope of the argument proved insurmountable.